Hello students, welcome to the topic of community organization and leadership. Today's lesson is process of community organization. In this, let us understand the characteristics and roles of community organizer, comprehend the process of community organization and understand the steps in group formation. A community organizer builds a group of people or institutions to address the social and political problems they experience directly and have in common. Core tasks include base building and sustaining powerful organizations that can run successful campaigns and win change. Next, characteristics of community organizer. First, curiosity. The function of an organizer is to raise questions that agitate and challenge the accepted pattern. Next, challenging. The community organizer challenges and stimulates. He or she stirs unrest. In other words, he or she is creating discontentment among the people by highlighting the given situation or making the people to understand the dimensions and possible solution of their social situation. Third, imagination. Imagination ignites and drives for change. To realistically appraise and anticipate the probable reaction of the resisting forces, he must be able to identify them in his imagination and foresee their reactions to his action. Fourth, a sense of humor. Humor is essential to a successful tactician, as the most potent weapons known to mankind are satire and ridicule. Humor enables to maintain his or her perspective and see himself or herself for what he really is, and helps to have friendly relationship with one and all. Fifth, an organized personality. He should recognize that each person or community has a hierarchy of values. He should become sensitive to everything that is happening around him. He should also accept without fear that the odds are always against him and be prepared to accept both positive and negative reactions. Sixth, free and open mind. He must have a flexible personality. The organizer, while working with the community, should not have any hidden agenda or preconceived ideas. Seventh, discerning and critical eye. The organizer should be able to look at the situation critically. Any situation has to be viewed through the eyes of the community carefully and find out its magnitude, symptoms and causes. Eighth, receptive ear. The organizer has to be an attentive listener, listening to the people and to their problems. The organizer, while working with the community, has to be patient in listening and should not give orders to the people. The organizer finds his goal in creation of power for others to use. Next, let us see the skills of an effective community organizer. First, problem analysis. One of the major tasks of the community organizer is to assist the people in arriving at a solution to the problem. For this purpose, the organizer should be capable of identifying the problem and making the people also to identify, analyze, give priorities, select an appropriate one, mobilize resources, make a plan of action, implement, monitor, evaluate, modify and continue. Next, resource mobilization. The resources may be in terms of manpower, money, material and time. The organizer has to be aware of the availability of the resources within the community or outside the community, and on the other hand makes the people to identify the sources of resources and the way to tap such resources. Next, conflict resolution. Problems of the community involve the people affected by the problem and others who are the reason for the problem. Therefore, there could be a conflict between these two groups or between the people and the system. The organizer should be equipped with the skill for identifying the conflicting situation and making the people to understand the conflict and then work out the ways and means to find solutions to the conflict. Next, organizing meeting. Communication within the community and between the community and the organization is most important. There need to be transparency in the dealings, for which formal and informal meetings have to be organized and information shared. The sharing of information enables sharing of responsibility and decision making. Next, writing reports. Documentation of the events for future reference and follow-up is absolutely essential. Any communication or any written representation and the report of the dealings have to be recorded. This task is either done by the community organizer or delegated to someone else. Next, networking. At times, support from like-minded people or organizations has to be elicited so that a pressure is built against the oppressive force. This helps to create pressure and increase the bargaining power, for which networking with other people and organizations is done by the community organizer. Next, training. Capacity building of the people and the personnel of an organization is important while working with the community. In the process of capacity building, the community organizer has to use his training ability and skills. Roles of community organizer. First, communicator. The community organizer transfers or transmits information, thought, knowledge, etc. to the members of the community. Sharing of information enables the community to be better prepared and empowered with information. The communication between the organizer and the community and within the community is essential. The communication takes place by individual contact, group meetings, group discussions, public meetings, etc. The community organizer, in order to disseminate the information to the people, can use different techniques like skits, role plays, street plays, audio and video shows. The local groups like women's group, youth groups are other channels for communication. By giving the responsibility to such groups to communicate to all other members in the community will also be helpful in reaching out to the whole community. Second, enabler. The community organizer facilitates the process in the community for a change. He does not carry out any work by himself, but he enables the community to do the work. The organizer gives importance to the process than the product. Therefore, the people learn the process rather than worried about the results and consequences of the process. Next, animator. Community organizer, by pricking or tickling the conscience of the people through raising questions. This would further enable them to increase their level of consciousness. Fourth, guide. As a guide, the organizer provides the needed information. For example, in a community, there are many educated unemployed youth, and their presence in the community is considered to be more of nuisance than as a human resource. In such a situation, the community organizer should be able to provide information about the various employment opportunities and different ways to become self-employed, the terms and conditions for availing credit from the credit institutions, etc. to the youth. Fifth, counselor. The community organizer understands the community and enables the community to understand itself. At the time of difficulty, the individuals or the groups are given the required counseling to proceed in the correct direction. Sixth, collaborator. The community organizer joins hands in performing his tasks with his colleagues, with other like-minded people and organizations. The organizer has to have interpersonal relationship and public relations skills. Seventh, consultant. The community organizer enjoys the confidence of the people and advises them in matters of vital interest. The community organizer, instead of working in one area, will be able to contribute his expertise with many individuals and groups by performing the role of a consultant. 8. Innovator. Community organizer is not a person to maintain the system that exists, but he should be a person to introduce new ways and means to climb up the development ladder. This gives a lead to the people of the community and enables them to try out new ways and means to find solutions to the needs and problems. 9th, model. The community organizer commands perfection as a community organizer and serves as a source of inspiration. The role of the organizer is to become an example while working with the people. 10. Motivator. The organizer motivates the people by making them to observe, analyze, understand and respond to the situation. When people are discouraged because they were not able to achieve what they wanted, or there is resistance and opposition, in such situation, the organizer plays the role of a motivator. 11th, catalyst. In the process of community organization, the community organizer retains his identity, at the same time enables the people to be empowered. The people gain accessibility and control over resources and acquire skills in decision making. The community organizer accelerates the actions and reactions so that people are able to achieve the desired results. 12th, advocate. The needs and problems of people have to be represented, and the required support and networking is essential to increase the pressure on the oppressive forces. The community organizer speaks on behalf of the community when community is unable to do so, and he or she represents the interests of the community to gain access or services or improve the quality of services which may be hampered by other forces. 13. Facilitator. The community organizer helps the community to articulate their needs, clarify and identify their problems, explore resolution strategies, select and apply intervention strategies, and develop their capacities to deal with their own problems more effectively. A facilitator assists the community to find coping strategies, strengths and resources to produce change necessary for accomplishing goals and objectives. 14. Mediator. The community organizer intervenes in disputes between people to help them find compromises, also reconcile differences or reach mutual satisfying agreements. The mediator takes a neutral stance between the involved parties. 15. Educator. Organizer provides information necessary for coping with problem situations, assists the community in practicing new behaviors or skills, and teaches through presentation of role models. The term community organization covers a series of activities at the community level aimed at bringing about desired improvement in the social well-being of individuals, groups and neighborhood. According to Murray G. Ross. Community organization is a process by which a community identifies needs and takes action, and in doing so develops cooperative attitudes and practices. Next, steps in community organization: integration, social investigation, issue identification analysis, core group formation, groundwork and community meeting, role playing, mobilization or action, evaluation and reflection, formalization of the community based organization, and Phaseout. First, integration. In this process, the organizers blend with the local community and undergoes the same experiences of local people so as to build mutual respect, trust and cooperation. This can be done in many ways, such as participation in production activities, house visits, congregating and conversing with the people in communal areas, and attending social functions like feasts, etc. Second, social investigation. This is the process of systematically learning and analyzing the various structures and forces in the community, as well as the problems and issues that need immediate or long-term solutions. The organizer determines the community's interests and attitudes towards issues. Also, identifies potential leaders and comes up with a tentative approach. Social investigation may include interviews and dialogue with people, personal observations of the organizer, and review of secondary data or participatory approach such as focus group discussion, and it is a continuous ongoing process. Issue identification and analysis. This is the process of identifying, analyzing and ranking community problems according to their importance. It aims to identify the common felt needs, not perceived needs of the community. Prioritizing the problems based on the urgency of solving them, the number of people affected and the probability of resolving them through community mobilization has to be taken care. These issues or needs often addressed through self-help or externally assisted socio-economic projects. Fourth, core group formation. This means involving the local leaders who have been identified by the organizer during the integration process. They are then constituted as the core group. They may be the temporary leaders, that is, until a formal set of leaders are elected or chosen by the community. This process is necessary for the next stage of organizing mobilization and to organize people. Good community leaders are usually those who belong to poorer sections of the community, are well respected and influential members of the community, possess a critical perspective, are desirous change and are willing to work for change, value collective leadership and democratic participation, and also can communicate effectively and can find time to perform necessary tasks. Fifth, groundwork and community meeting. Groundwork means to motivate people on a one-to-one basis or through informal group discussions towards collective actions, sometimes with the help of a core group. It aims to bring about the emotional, mental and physical energies of the people and raise them to the level that they are willing to take collective action. After this achieved, a community meeting is held to arrive at an agreement on the necessary actions and to delineate tasks to be undertaken to resolve their issues. After this achieved, a community meeting is held to arrive at an agreement on the necessary actions and to delineate tasks to be undertaken to resolve these issues or problems. In some cases, it is the core group who handles the meeting with the organizer staying in the background. Sixth, role playing. This is a simulation practice for the community members who have to negotiate with persons or authority or even the adversary. In this session, the organizer envisions every scenario that may take place during confrontation or dialogue between the community and the target. It aims to prepare the leaders for the actual process of negotiation and anticipates possible outcomes to ensure success for the community. This process is usually done in organizing community for an issue based action. Seventh, mobilization or action. This is the high point of the organizing process. Action may mean engaging in a dialogue or protest under issue based organizing, starting a livelihood project or a cooperative under project based organizing. Mobilization or action is the community's expression of power while confronting the powerful forces. 8th, evaluation or reflection. This is an activity conducted after every action or mobilization to extract lessons learned on how to improve future mobilizations and constitutes a vital part in the training of the core group and the community. The people take note of what has been and what has not been accomplished, what remains to be done. It is also an assessment of the strengths and weaknesses of the community's mobilization. It can also be a self-assessment of all the participants. Next, formalization of the community-based organization. The people's organization is best done after the community undergoes a mobilization or action phase and an evaluation or reflection process. Principles in setting up of the organization are: ensure the maximum number of membership, practice a collective or shared leadership, and emphasize simplicity of the structure. Next is phase out. Community organizing is an enabling process. There comes a time when the organizer becomes dispensable and the people's organizations take over. When the indicators for success set by the community organizer have been significantly met, example, high level of socio-political awareness, sustained membership participation, a vibrant pool of trained community leaders, clear plans and goals set by the community, etc., the organizing process may be turned over. The phase out stage includes the transfer of community organizing roles and responsibilities as well as documents. However, this does not necessarily mean a complete pull-out from the community, as the NGO may be able to assist the people's organization in a new role, such as helping community organizations form groups or federations or engage in national advocacies. Let us see an example of SHG formation. Phase 1, identification and formation of SHG. In this, step 1, collect information about the village by using participatory rural appraisal techniques. Under this, credit needs and analysis of sources of credit and its incomes and seasonality. Through social and resource mapping, availability of natural resources or location of households, location of drinking water facilities, grazing land, cultivatable land, forest, skills available in the village, markets existing, people's perception about poverty, and what are the resources required for the development of family and affinity groups available in the village, and wealth ranking exercise can be done. Step 2. Meet with men and women in village and explain to them the purpose of intervention. Tell the villagers the reason. Step 3. Conduct 4 to 5 meetings over 4 to 5 months and set an agenda for each meeting. Under this, in each meeting, discuss with them and plan out. Talk about family issues or community issues using the data collected through PRA. Talk about saving and lending. Talk about self-help concept or self-help groups. Talk about rules and regulations in self-help groups. Familiarize members with books to be maintained in SHG. Elect representative and explain responsibilities of members. Give the group a name and help to open a bank account. Phase 2. Stabilization phase during 4 to 15 months. Under this, continue to attend their meetings on regular basis. Encourage members not only to save but also to start lending to their members for both productive and consumption purpose. Assist them with books and help them to write if they cannot write. Take up numeracy and literacy classes if possible. Organize a common action program, example tree plantation, cleaning drive, health program or building up a water source. You can also plan this with the villagers and help them to organize it. Bring in bankers, government officials from other departments like KVIC, health, agriculture, BDO, soil conservation to interact with the self-help groups and organize a meeting. Start organizing a training program equipped for the capacity building training of the SHG. Grading of SHG may be done at this stage. The next phase, that is phase 3, withdrawal. By now, SHGs are well prepared to receive external assistance from SGSY program or non-SGSY finance of NABARD or banks or any other source. By the end of 15 months of continuous working with the SHGs, now prepare to withdraw support to SHGs. Start by reducing your attendance to their meeting, but continue to monitor them and teach them how to access themselves. This is the process of community organization. Any questions?
Hello ma'am, I am Sunita. I have a question. Why phase out stage is necessary in community organization?
Community organizing is an enabling process, but there comes a time when the organizer becomes dispensable and the people's organizations take over. When the indicators for success set by the community organizer have been successfully, significantly met. Example, high level of socio-political awareness, sustained membership participation, a vibrant pool of trained community leaders, clear plans and goals set by the community, etc., the organizing process may be turned over. At this stage, the phase out stage is essential. Any more questions? Well then, this is all about the process of community organization. Thank you.